Imagine having the ability to read minds, to instantly understand what others are thinking and feeling. While true telepathy might remain in the realm of science fiction, there's something remarkably close within your reach: emotional literacy. Every day, our brains process countless emotional signals, from subtle facial expressions to tone of voice, from body language to word choice. Yet most of us miss vital emotional information simply because we haven't developed the vocabulary and awareness to capture it accurately. This isn't just about putting names to feelings. It's about developing a fundamental skill that impacts every aspect of life, from personal relationships to professional success, from mental well-being to physical health. When we can accurately identify and name our emotions, we gain access to a hidden layer of information that guides better decisions, deeper connections, and more effective responses to life's challenges. The good news? This skill can be learned and strengthened, just like any other. Through consistent practice and the right techniques, anyone can dramatically improve their ability to recognize, understand, and work with emotions effectively. In the next few minutes, we'll explore the building blocks of emotional literacy, from understanding the difference between primary and secondary emotions to practical exercises for expanding your emotional vocabulary. You'll learn specific techniques you can start using today to transform your relationship with emotions and enhance your ability to understand both yourself and others. Ready to unlock this fundamental superpower? Let's begin. Inside your brain, a remarkable process unfolds every time you experience an emotion. Your nervous system is constantly scanning your environment and your body, gathering information about what's happening both around and within you. This emotional detection system operates with incredible speed, often reaching conclusions before your conscious mind has time to catch up. That's why you might find yourself reacting to a situation before you fully understand why. But here's where it gets interesting. The accuracy of this system depends heavily on your ability to recognize and label what you're feeling. When you can't identify an emotion precisely, your brain relies on broader, less helpful categories, usually simply good or bad, comfortable or uncomfortable. This limited emotional vocabulary creates a ripple effect. Imagine trying to fix a complex machine with only 2 tools instead of a full toolbox. You might get by, but you'll miss opportunities for precise adjustments and optimal solutions. The same principle applies to emotional recognition. The more accurately you can identify what you're feeling, the more effectively you can respond. This isn't just about personal comfort. It's about having access to better information for decision-making, relationship building, and problem-solving. When you develop this skill, you gain the ability to distinguish between subtle emotional states that might previously have seemed identical. The difference between feeling frustrated and feeling disappointed might seem small, but each emotion calls for a different response, and understanding this can dramatically change your approach to a situation. This enhanced emotional awareness creates a positive feedback loop. The more precisely you can identify emotions, the better your brain becomes at detecting and processing emotional information, leading to increasingly refined emotional intelligence over time. Understanding emotions becomes clearer when we recognize that not all feelings are created equal. Some emotions are like primary colors, pure, basic states that serve as building blocks for all other emotional experiences. These primary emotions, joy, sadness, fear, anger, disgust, and surprise, are universal human experiences. They're quick, automatic responses that emerge directly from situations we encounter. Think of them as your emotional first responders, providing immediate information about your environment. But life isn't always so simple. Just as mixing primary colors creates new shades, our primary emotions often blend and transform into more complex secondary emotions. These secondary emotions are reactions to our initial feelings, like feeling guilty about being angry or anxious about feeling sad. Here's a practical example. Imagine missing an important deadline. The primary emotion might be disappointment, a basic response to not meeting a goal. But quickly, this could transform into secondary emotions like shame, about feeling disappointed, anxiety, about the consequences, or even anger at yourself for feeling disappointed. Understanding this distinction is crucial because primary and secondary emotions often call for different responses. Primary emotions typically point directly to what needs attention, while secondary emotions can lead us down unproductive paths of self-judgment or avoidance. Developing the ability to distinguish between primary and secondary emotions is like gaining a new lens through which to view your emotional experiences. It helps cut through the complexity and noise, allowing you to identify and address the core emotional needs at play. This understanding becomes particularly valuable in moments of emotional intensity. When you can recognize that your overwhelming anxiety might be a secondary response to primary fear, or that your rage might be masking primary hurt, you gain access to clearer, more effective ways of handling these feelings. Now that we understand the foundation of emotional experience, let's build your emotional vocabulary with practical exercises that expand your ability to identify and name feelings with greater precision. The first step is moving beyond basic emotional labels. Instead of just angry, you might be frustrated, irritated, indignant, or exasperated. Each of these words captures a different shade of anger, and recognizing these distinctions helps you respond more effectively. Here's a practical exercise to start. When you notice an emotion, try to generate at least 3 possible words that might describe what you're feeling. For example, if you're feeling bad, ask yourself, is it more like disappointment, discouragement, disillusionment? Each word opens up different insights about your experience. Another powerful practice is emotion mapping. Throughout your day, pause briefly to scan your body for physical sensations and match them with emotional states. Tension in your shoulders might signal stress. But is it anxiety about the future or frustration about the present? A lightness in your chest could indicate joy. But is it more like contentment, excitement, or satisfaction? You can also practice emotional granularity by creating personal emotion scales. Rather than seeing anger as simply on or off, visualize it as a spectrum from mild annoyance to full rage. Where exactly on that spectrum does your current feeling fall? As your vocabulary expands, you'll naturally begin to notice subtle emotional shifts that previously went unrecognized. This heightened awareness creates opportunities for more nuanced responses to your feelings and more precise communication with others. Remember, the goal isn't to overcomplicate your emotional experience, but to develop a richer, more accurate understanding of what you're feeling. This precision becomes particularly valuable in challenging situations where clear emotional awareness can guide better decisions. Let's transform this understanding into daily practice with 3 simple but powerful strategies you can start using today. First, create an emotion check-in ritual. Choose specific moments in your day, perhaps when you first wake up, before important meetings, or during your commute, to pause and identify what you're feeling. Take just 30 seconds to name the emotion as specifically as possible. Notice where you feel it in your body, and consider whether it's a primary or secondary feeling. Second, start an emotion journal, but keep it simple. At the end of each day, write down 3 emotions you experienced and 1 sentence about the situation that triggered each. This builds your emotional awareness while helping you recognize patterns in what prompts different feelings. Third, practice emotional curiosity in your daily interactions. When someone shares an experience with you, try to identify both what they're feeling and what you're feeling in response. This dual awareness builds emotional literacy while strengthening your connections with others. The key to success with these practices isn't perfection, it's consistency. You might start with just 1 check-in per day or a couple of journal entries per week. What matters is making emotional awareness a regular part of your daily routine, allowing this skill to develop naturally over time. As you implement these strategies, you'll likely notice that emotional situations become clearer, your responses become more measured, and your understanding of both yourself and others deepens considerably. Developing emotional literacy might not be actual mind reading, but it's remarkably close and arguably more valuable. As your ability to recognize and name emotions grows more precise, you gain access to deeper understanding of both yourself and others. This fundamental skill transforms relationships, enhances decision-making, and creates opportunities for more meaningful connections in every area of life. The precision with which you can identify emotions directly influences the effectiveness of your responses to life's challenges. The journey to emotional literacy starts with simple daily practices, naming feelings more precisely, distinguishing between primary and secondary emotions, and maintaining curious awareness of emotional experiences. By committing to this practice, you develop a superpower that's both practical and profound, the ability to navigate the emotional landscape with greater confidence, clarity, and understanding.